brothers and sisters. Today we will talk about the next festivity in the wheel of the year, which will be Ostara. Now, Ostara falls on the first astrological day of spring, between the 20th and the 23rd of March. Now, every year, please be careful to check when the spring equinox falls. If you're southern in the hemisphere, on the southern hemisphere, please keep in mind English is not my first language, so be patient with me. It falls between the 20th and the 23rd of September. It depends on what is the land you call home. Now, as we said, this is the first astrological day of spring, and this festivity is about beginnings, it's about growth, it's about youth, it's about appreciation, it's about the coming back to life of nature and of ourselves, since we are part of nature. It's about vitality, it's about discovery, it's about execution of the will. Now, this festivity is not to be confused with Imbolc. This festivity is not about plannings, it's not about starting a project, it's about the execution of project. It's about reaching yearly results and leveraging them to get momentum. And this festivity is also about observing and interiorizing the resurrection of nature even after the hardest winter. Now, the name of the festivity is usually attributed to the goddess Eostre, it depends on your pronunciation. She's a Germanic goddess of vitality, of fertility, and of course of transformation. Most of all, transformation. As we can clearly see, along with Bridget, she's another amazing goddess of health and of healing, and of the healing of the self, of ourself. Without further ado, there are similarities with Imbolc. This, of course, is a festivity to invest in yourself, on your project, on your family, and on your education. I mean, sort of an academic education. So, to educate yourself to do better. Now, I do recommend walking in nature, appreciating a strength and ability to grow and regrow, to rebirth and regenerate even after the harshest winter. Like in any festivity, you can decorate your altar if you have one, or seasonal altar if you keep one. I don't personally keep one, but this is a personal choice. If you can't, you can even just wear the colors of the season, which we will see in a second. Decorate the home if you don't have an altar. A more seasonal activity is to decorate the eggs. Now, this one may be derived from Easter. I personally have no clue what came first. Like we made washings with floral waters on Imbolc, in this season we may want to do sort of a spring cleaning with usually in my tradition, vinegar, diluted with water, of course, and lemon. Lemon is of course there because of the scent, but also because it's correspondence to the sun. Even better, lemon has a correspondence with the sun. As we all know in our tradition and many others, vinegar is always used for cleaning. This is why we tend to use vinegar for this objective. The only thing I haven't found any elsewhere is the preparation of Posca. Now, Posca is a vinegar-based drink of Romanic origin, at least for my sources and for my grimoires. We will talk more about Posca later. Now, please, as always, if you don't know what you're doing, don't start preparation for anything you're going to eat or drink. Now, other things we may want to do aside from the spring cleaning is planting small seeds, especially of aromatic herbs. Aromatic herbs are really big in our tradition. Or caring from your re-sprouting plants here now that spring is coming. Other things you may want to do is dancing and playing outside. For example, here in Tuscany we do have quite a lot of village festivals or county fairs, it depends on how you want to call them. But you may want to go hiking or go outside and just do picnics with your family, your friends, or your coven. Again, this festivity is not in work, so it's basically your last chance to jumpstart yearly project for this year. Ideally, in this time, we want to put the pedal to the metal on your projects. On a side note, keep in mind this is the last chance for a little fitness to get in better shape for the summer in time. Talking correspondences. As always, we will start with colors. The colors of the season are pink and greens. For the Venusian, regenerating spirit of the season and of the festivity. Another color may be blue for abundance and the jovial nature of the color itself. Yellow, referring to the stabilization of the sun, and if you know me, of course, powerful to invoke insight necessary to analyze and carry on your projects. Talking herbs, of course, dandelions, which shortly you will find anywhere. We may want to work with lilium, narcissus, tulips, violets, hibiscus, any sort of echinaceas, and of course hyssop, which is It's really big in our tradition. Now, talking trees, we may want to walk towards or with birch, ash, elder, and oak. Talking crystals. Now, please do remember, I'm not big on crystals, but just a sort of a guide, you may want to work with quartz as always, rose quartz, citrine, the brightest color of citrine in this season, and aquamarine, amethyst, and of course moonstone. Incenses for this season are mainly floral incenses. So you want to work with rose, jasmine, and all the flowers we discussed before. Now, if you know me, this is an amazing time for kitchen magic, of course, because this season is all about eggs, butter, milk. So we are talking about cakes, tarts, cookies, for yourself, for your family, for your covenant, but even as an offering, of course. For your ancestors, for the spirits of the land. We will talk about this a little later. Of course, if you want to talk vegetables, this season is amazing for courgettes, aubergines, asparagus, and many, many more. Please, you're just a Google search away from finding out any spring seasonal vegetable. Now, more rarely discussed are insect correspondences, especially pollinator insects like bees and butterflies. I personally encourage you to use as an offering just a little plate with some sugar, water for the bees and the butterflies. They usually feed on nectar. Of course, they do accept sugar, both bees and butterflies. I mean, butterflies also feed on rotting corpses, but I guess you don't want to leave them hanging around. Now, the last correspondence I want to discuss in the basics of Ostara is the rabbit or the hare. Of course, the rabbit or the hare represents the awakening after winter, getting back from lethargic modes, and of course, a more physical expression of fertility in this season. I guess I don't have to explain you how fast rabbits reproduce. Now, of course, rabbits and hares have been a staple of survival for our ancestors. So this is an amazing time to give back and feed them on the mating season. If you want to research more and explore about the legends of the hare and the rabbit, there are not much in my tradition, but I do encourage you to research. Even here on YouTube, there are lots of amazing and really prepared sisters, and maybe I'm not allowed to call them sister, but they are sisters to me. So they are amazingly prepared. I just do not have the legend of the hair in my tradition. Of course, if you are already practicing a little, focus on your spellbook, on abundance, personal power, fertility, so of course your investments and your personal education, most of all. Focus your meditation on the flourishing energy of spring, interiorizing it. And of course, the stoic perseverance of the tree blooming again after winter. If you want to know more about Ostara, I'll wait for you on the next video, which will be the intermediate one. Otherwise, thank you very much for your kind attention, and may eternal light shine